Rockford's home for Classic Rocks, 96.7 The Eagle. Special guest on the phone, Dean Lowry. How's it going today, buddy?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good. Rockford guy, went to Boylan, then Northwestern, and then on to the Green Bay Packers. It's got to be a dream come true.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool so far. And quite a few Rockford fans, or Green Bay fans in Rockford too. So it's been cool to have that support in Rockford and to have so much people that have watched me through the years and still follow me today, so it's been pretty special.
Did you grow up a Packer fan?
No, I was more of a Bears fan growing up. I wasn't a huge Bears fan, but yeah, I changed pretty quickly once I got that call from Green Bay. So it's all green and gold right now.
It doesn't matter how big of a fan you are. If you get that call, you're changing right away.
Absolutely.
When did you start playing football?
I started when I was 8 years old. So I played for a team called Nelson Storm in Rockford for about 6 years. So I played, O-line, center, like tackle, D tackle, D end. So a lot of different positions growing up. So that helped me. But yeah, I started playing when I was 8 years old in Rockford. So I have many memories playing football growing up.
What was it about football that made you say, I've got to play football, especially that young?
I love the game. I just love watching, college and Big Ten football and the NFL, and I love going to watch the Boylan play on Friday nights, and I just kind of fell in love with the game and the team, mentality of it. But also I knew, being about 6'5", 6'6" in height, I played basketball as well, but I knew that, being that tall for football was a huge advantage, and in basketball that's more of just kind of average height for a post player. So I knew kind of when I was young that I felt like my body type of football would really help me get some D1 offers. I'm
talking to Dean Lowry from the Green Bay Packers. When did you really start growing and get really big?
I was always kind of a late bloomer. I would say more about sophomore year of high school, I had a pretty big growth spurt, about almost 4 inches. So I went into high school about 6'1", and I grew about 4 inches my sophomore year.
Wow. But your parents were happy to buy you clothes then, huh?
Oh, yeah. A lot of change of clothes around that time, yeah.
You talk about playing at Boylan, the tradition that school has, especially when you were there. Talk about your time at Boylan and the football program.
Yeah, I grew up, watching games my whole life, going to the high school there and just, idolizing those players. So it was really special to be a part of that, but to win 2 state championships was just so cool for our city, for our school, and the community, to really represent Rockford on a statewide level. That was just very special. So, and also my teammates too. I mean, they're all doing well now, and when I see them, all of our stories are still about high school football too. So that was probably the most genuine, fun time of football in my life, and great memories.
I can imagine, because I played on a really bad team and we still talk about it. So I can imagine being on a team like that. There's got to be some great stories. And what kind of influence did Coach Apena have on you?
He was great. I think, Coach Apena was just a class act. And, being on him with 2 really good teams, he just taught me how to just present yourself, as a winner, as somebody that reaches a high level in a very positive way. To be respectful, to stay humble, and to keep working. And I felt like that my foundation of work ethic that has really helped me accomplish things, in college and the NFL was really started, under his program, in his conditioning program, and his talks and speeches are just really helping to mold us as young men. So he's been very, I think, just beneficial in my life so far.
I'm talking to Dean Lowry from the Green Bay Packers. That's the thing about football. People that haven't played or don't understand it, they don't get that it's more than just the game. It's other things you learn about life.
Absolutely. I mean, everything between discipline, perseverance, work ethic, teamwork. I mean, you can apply football or, that kind of stuff to anything in life. So, that's why I think, it's so important for kids to play football or different sports at a young age, because so many lessons you learn from those sports you'll use later on in life.
And then you go on to play at Northwestern. And first of all, to be able to play Big Ten football is incredible. To have the grades to be able to go to Northwestern, that's something you have to be proud of.
Yeah, my goal, too, once I got to high school, was to play Big Ten football. And it never really was, one big goal to play in the NFL. It was more of just like a series of goals. And once I got to high school, I had that offer from Coach Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern and the school. I knew it was the right place for me just because of, like you said, the balance of the academics there and the football and just the coaches and the team culture that I really kind of fell in love with. So that was really cool, playing close to home and right next to a big city in Chicago. So that was a great experience as well.
And another great coach, Pat Fitzgerald. And there's a guy that puts his heart on the line for football, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it's cool, too, because he played at Northwestern as well. So he was a two-time All-American, led his team to the Rose Bowl. So to have our team leader really kind of know what it's like to play at Northwestern and to really just understand our point of view, but also push us was just a great combination in a head coach.
Because I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. A lot of my buddies were Notre Dame fans, but I'm like, come on, let's go for the local team.
Because my record against them is 1-0 so far in college. Beat them in South Bend my junior year, so that was
awesome.
Exciting. We have a lot of guys in the team from the suburbs that grew up Notre Dame fans, so to go in there and beat them, that was a pretty special day for us.
Did you have a feeling that you might be able to get an opportunity to continue on with football after college?
Yeah, I would say by about sophomore, junior year, you go against players in the Big Ten, and you see they get drafted, third, fourth, seventh round. You kind of ask yourself that, hey, like, if I held my own against, so-and-so, and they went in this round, I think I have a chance too. So that was kind of my mentality, and I knew I had sort of the frame. I just had to develop it in the weight room and all that extra stuff to get my body ready to be a pro. So that was, very tough work and a lot of sacrifice involved, but it was well worth it.
I'm talking to Dean Lowry from the Green Bay Packers, and then you get that call from the Packers saying, hey, we're picking you. Can you even describe that moment?
That was crazy. I was just on my couch in Rockford, just, not knowing when or where I would go. And just, I see Green Bay, Wisconsin pop up my iPhone. I'm just like, man, this is surreal. So that was just a special day, being a part of the Packers organization and just the tradition that they've had in the past and what they have going forward. It was very cool, and I'm still enjoying it each day.
I've been to many, many Bears games in my life, but to go up to Green Bay in that little town and to experience a game there, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's cool because just like the whole town revolves around the Packers. So, everywhere you go, people usually know who you are, but it's pretty cool because everyone's very respectful too of just like you playing football in a small town and just being part of the team there. So that's really special, and just being a part of Lambeau Field and that game day environment is second to none. And even last year we had a down year and we're out of the playoffs towards the last quarter of the year, but our fans still came every single game and sold out, and it was just still a great atmosphere. So that really shows you just the kind of fans that Packer fans are.
And what was it like coming to Soldier Field then to take on the Bears?
That was really cool. Growing up, following the Bay Packer rivalry, that was just cool to be a part of that and to watch, to me growing up, watching guys like Urlacher and Devin Hester and all those guys, and now to be a part of that rivalry as well was really cool. So that was, really cold, but it was, it was a good win for us.
I know. God darn it. Being a guy that played offense and defensive line myself, I didn't get the opportunity to touch the football very often. You get the ball in your hands, you see some open field, and you take off running, and you're heading toward the end zone. Explain your touchdown.
Yeah, that was a play we had where Kenny Clark, our nose tackle, forced a sack on Jameis Winston, and the ball popped up in the air, and it fell right in my hand. So I just immediately just turned the corner and just sprinted as fast as I could. And I tried to make sure that, I had good form in my sprinting because I don't really run that much. But I tried to make sure that I looked at least, halfway athletic for a big guy. I got in the end zone. I was like, all right, here's my chance for the Lambeau leap. And then I get to like the wall, and it's kind of slippery there, so I didn't want to fall, so I didn't really jump as high as I could, and then I barely do a Lambeau leap, and they kind of pull me up there. So it was wasn't the best Lambeau leap ever, but hopefully I can I watched film on it and studied it, so I can really improve on that for next time. But
yeah, you got to get.
I look forward to a few more in the future.
You got to get in the film room to watch that because that's an important part of the game up there.
The fans appreciate that, so you got to make sure the fans are on point.
You're running down the field, and you're sprinting. I watched the video. At what point were you like, oh, my God, am I going to actually make it because you're running out of breath?
So I saw myself on the big screen that passed the very last, 10 yards. So I was just kind of looking in the background. I was like, oh, well, nobody really has caught too much ground on me. So I was just like, well, that's pretty cool. But I was just like, all right, here's my chance for the leap. But yeah, about like 10-yard line, just entering, I was like, man, I made it. This is crazy. So, and the crowd was just going nuts, and it was almost deafening in there. So, so that was pretty cool to be a part of that.
Is that a top moment in your career so far?
So far, I would say yes.
We're talking to Dean Lowry from the Green Bay Packers. He's going to be at the Ice Hogs game Friday night, Dean Lowry bobblehead night. This has got to be special, too. Your hometown, and they have a bobblehead of you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's me in Ice Hogs jersey, so it's cool to have, you're recognized as with your home team, Rockford Ice Hogs, and to be in a bobblehead. So not many guys can have that at this point in their career, so that's pretty cool for me.
When you get to camp and you're in defensive meeting, who would give you a hard time about it, and who would think it was cool?
I'm not sure. Maybe the older guys, like Claire and Mike Daniels, would probably laugh at it, but, like my buddy, like Kenny, would probably just say, hey, that's pretty cool. But, I'm sure if they saw it, they'd probably laugh at it.
You going to bring a box to them and just hand them out to everybody?
I doubt that. Sign it, autograph, and give it to him. No, I don't think so.
Go up to Aaron Rodgers. Hey, I brought you a gift.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, will you be able to make it out to the game on Friday?
Yes, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. So I'll be around, just meeting fans, and I'll be there, so I'm excited.
Awesome. Is the family coming with you?
Yeah, the whole family will be there, so I'm excited.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations. We couldn't be prouder of you. And I grew up a Bears fan and just hating the Packers, but got to root for you because you're a hometown guy. Whenever we see you out on the field, we're going, all right, Dean, keep going. Congrats and continued success, and hopefully you can at least split it with the Bears this year.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it, man.
Dean Lowry from the Green Bay Packers. Rockford's home for Classic Rock, 96.7 The Eagle.